Hey guys, and welcome back to tonight's Monday Night Football pick between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. You can access all of our pick content over at stumpthespread.com, linked down in the video description, and be sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. So heading into this one, the Broncos finding themselves as about a touchdown underdog with that over-under set at around 42 to 43 points. In this video, we're going to be going over who we think has the better betting value when taking into account that point spread. Kansas City, not a huge surprise to see them favored by a full touchdown on their home field. They have a great home field advantage, and they've just looked better than the Broncos when you encapsulate their entire season performance up to this point in the year. But to start with, the road team today, the Denver Broncos at 3-3 overall, coming off of back-to-back defeats where their offense has really had some very hard times. First, it was their home loss against the New York Giants by a final of 10-23, and then in their last outing, the Broncos just looking absolutely terrible on the offensive side of the ball as they went on to lose to the Chargers on the road by a final of 0-21. And now this is the second leg of a back-to-back road trip for the Broncos, and for a team that's heading in the wrong direction, that's not an encouraging sign. This is a Denver team that certainly has a very strong defensive unit, but the offense hasn't been doing this squad any favors. And if this was a Denver offense that was respectable and even about league average, their defensive numbers would be even better, given the fact that Denver continues to put their defense in pretty tough positions, given the fact that the offense hasn't been able to produce. But on the year right now, the Broncos standing 24th in the NFL in scoring average. This has been a number that's continued to recede, and they actually rank about league average 15th in both passing as well as rushing, but those haven't contributed to points being put on the board. Denver having a hard time finishing off these drives with touchdowns, and that's certainly a concern for this group as well. But the defense, of course, they've got some standout players. They rank 9th in the NFL in points against. They're going to have a tough task today on the road against a Kansas City squad that's certainly been one of the better producing offensive teams that we've seen here in this division so far this season. But in that outing for the Broncos, the 0-21 loss against the Chargers, Simeon didn't look great. He went on to throw for about 207 yards, 0 touchdowns to 1 interception, while the ground game just wasn't able to get anything going, and they had to abandon it given the fact that they were digging themselves out of a hole throughout the entire contest, but picking up just 69 yards on 19 carries. So now going over to the home team today, the Chiefs standing 5-2 overall. Through the first 5 weeks of the regular season, everyone was saying that this is the clear-cut best team in football. The temperature on this squad has receded a little bit as of late, given the fact that the Chiefs are coming off back-to-back losses. Not looking terrible by any means in these 2 defeats, but certainly the Chiefs are going to be looking to try to get back on track today. With that 5-2 overall record, that's good enough to put them first place right now in the AFC West. In their last outing, very competitive on the road against the Oakland Raiders, but coming up just short right at the last second, losing that one by a final of 30-31. And then prior to that, losing at home to a pretty good Pittsburgh Steelers squad by a final of 13-19. But this is a Kansas City squad that has excelled on the offensive side of the ball this year, ranking 2nd in the NFL in scoring average, and they're 5th in passing, 5th in total team rushing. And then their defense ranks 19th in the NFL in points allowed. In that last outing against the rival Raiders, that 1-point defeat, Kansas City actually had a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter, but unfortunately for them, Oakland outscored them 10-0 in the final frame. But offensively, the Chiefs were still pretty solid. Alex Smith, very efficient, throwing for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, only sacked 1 time, while the ground game added 94 yards on 23 carries. But unfortunately for Kansas City, they were gashed through the air, giving up 417 passing yards to that Derek Carr passing attack, while the Oakland ground game picked up 88 yards on 21 carries. But this Denver pass attack has certainly been up and down, but we don't have a ton of confidence in it, with Trevor Siemian not looking great under center by any means, and what he's been able to do with that passing game for Denver. And we certainly expect that this Denver pass attack today isn't necessarily going to have the same kind of confidence and expectations and results that we saw out of Oakland for that Kansas City defensive performance last week. So heading into this one, guys, Kansas City as a full touchdown favorite right now. At least it's not at the 7.5 points. With that 7 points giving the touchdown, it is at about minus 120 with the spread. So this certainly could go up to a touchdown with the half point added on top, which would not be ideal. But right now, sitting at the full touchdown. We feel like the home team today, the Kansas City Chiefs, are in a position to bounce back against a Denver squad that's going into the second leg of back-to-back road trips and not even scoring any points in their last outing. Certainly a concern. So we're going to go ahead and side with the Chiefs today to get that bounce-back win on the board as they go on to win and cover this touchdown spread. And again, guys, to get all of our pick content, you can check that out over at stumpthespread.com, linked in the video description. And be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping on in, and we hope to see you guys in future videos. Bye.